Thank you so much for being our very first guest on Radio GPS. We appreciate you giving us your time today.
Of course, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your first guest. What an honor.
Do you remember coming to our school last year?
I absolutely did. And one of my favorite memories was how inviting and friendly you all are. I think something that's really special about a school is when they have a sense of community around them, and you guys definitely have that.
Thank you.
You made a huge impact on our students from our school, so we hope you might remember us.
Of course, I would not forget an experience like that. Hopefully, we get to do it again in the future. But do you guys enjoy, going to your school and living where you do?
Yeah.
What would you say? What would you say your favorite thing about your school and community is?
The podcast.
All the sports gala days.
Yeah, pretty much all sports.
Awesome. I love that.
We love watching you on Ninja Warrior. What is your favourite course or obstacle? What is the hardest obstacle?
Great question, Jake. I love doing Ninja Warrior. Sometimes, though, it is a little nerve-wracking because when we step up on that course, that's the first time we're trying these obstacles. So what a lot of people don't know is we don't get to test it first or, touch these obstacles. So sometimes we don't know what they feel like, and we have to stand there on the platform, make sure we take nice, deep, slow breaths and respect every single movement that we're doing. And the second that you lose concentration or you might be thinking about the next obstacle, that's when mistakes happen. So you really have to be in the moment. And I would say my favorite course has got to be last year's semi-final course because I was the first female in history to get furthest fastest. I'd say that was my favorite. It's definitely an achievement I worked really hard for. And then the toughest, I would say the hardest one is the rope climb, the Mount Midoriyama stage 4. It seems like, oh, that's fine. I could probably climb a rope.
Yeah.
But this rope is 24 meters high and you have to do it in under 30 seconds. So that is a very tough feat indeed.
Wow. We've heard you've been in Europe recently for a competition. What is your favourite country that you have travelled to for either gymnastics, Ninja Warrior, or a holiday? Did you like living in America when you went to college there?
Great questions, Jake. I recently was in Europe. I got invited to do a ninja comp in Switzerland, which was 200 meters high underneath a bungee bridge. So they drilled and strapped on obstacles underneath this bridge, 200 meters high in the Swiss Alps, in the mountains. And then we got harnessed up to bungee ropes and we had to go through this course. And the further along you go on the course, the bigger the fall. So that was super fun. It was been a dream of mine for a long time. I'm not really afraid of heights. So that moment was really nothing but pure enjoyment and letting that hard work pay off. But I would say one of my favorite places to go, and it wasn't for ninja, it wasn't for gymnastics, it was actually just a holiday, was Japan. Now, I thought Japan was just a really different world. Their culture was so different to what I was used to in Australia. So it was kind of like stepping into another universe, and they're very respectful. Their technology is incredible. I think all your podcast material would be really cool and techy in Japan, but I really enjoyed that. And then when I went to college in America, that was also a really unique experience. I was fortunate enough to earn myself a full ride scholarship. So I had all my schooling paid for, but I stepped into this atmosphere and this competition realm of collegiate gymnastics. And America, let me tell you, they love their sports. We used to get about 7,000 people to our gymnastics meets and all these crazy fans. It was really cool.
You seem to do a lot of work outside Ninja Warrior with brands on social media channels trying to inspire young girls and women to be more active.
Mm.
Is this something that you enjoy and have a passion for?
Absolutely, Jake. When I first started Ninja, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was just getting a free trip to Sydney and I was doing a show called Wipeout. But I got to Sydney and it was not Wipeout. I remember they show you the course about an hour before they start filming. And I remember walking out there and my jaw hit the ground. I was like, this looks like a supersized playground over water. How cool is this? And then my very first season, I got to the warp wall and I did this. I failed the warp wall and I didn't make it through to semi-finals, but I wanted to. And so that lit a fire within me and this passion that I'd been missing for years. I went back to Perth. I trained at the Ninja Academy. Season 2, I came back and my goal was to beat a warped wall. And I beat the warp wall and I became the first female to make the grand final. And I asked myself, why was my goal just to beat a warped wall? Why don't I try and shift my mindset to try and win the show? And that's when I started training harder to win the show. And along with that came this new passion and purpose to inspire others, to inspire the younger generation to get there, get themselves outside, get playing, get swinging, get moving, inspire young girls to believe in themselves and chase their dreams and chase their goal. But ultimately, I really like it when people find their passion. It might not be ninja. People love running. People love athletics. People love basketball and footy. So I think it's really important for people at any age to find something that they enjoy doing to keep them moving, to keep them healthy and their mindset and their health and well-being. So it's definitely something that through Ninja Warrior became a passion of mine to inspire others.
Is it true that you were born with a hole in your respiratory muscle and still managed to compete at the Olympics, Commonwealth Games, and on Ninja Warrior?
Yes, Jake, I can see you have all done your research, which is very impressive, you lot. I was born with a hole in my diaphragm. Now, a lot of people don't know what that means. Diaphragmatic hernia is a big word to learn, but your diaphragm is what separates your lungs from the rest of your body's lower organs. So when I was born, I had my stomach, my intestine, my kidneys was all up in my chest cavity and that was crushing my lungs. I couldn't breathe properly. So I went straight to the Children's Hospital into emergency surgery. Now, at that time, it would have been quite scary for my parents because 1 in 3 babies, newborns, survived the surgery. So the odds weren't very good, but I was very fortunate enough to have a surgeon named Dr. King who managed to get all my organs back where they needed to be, sew up the hole, poof my lungs back out. So they had to put air in them. And then my mum had to watch over me for weeks to make sure that I was okay. Now, after all of that and surviving that, they told me that my lungs will probably never reach full capacity, so I would never be able to do sports or run or anything that normal kids would be allowed to do. But as a child, I didn't let that affect me. I just did what I loved to do and what I believed I could do. So, to come up through gymnastics and be able to go to the Olympics and Commonwealth Games and World Champs and do Ninja Warrior, it just reminded me that you can do whatever you want to if you're willing to put in the work and believe in yourself.
Do you enjoy being famous?
So I'm not sure if I would call myself famous. Sometimes I'll still go out with my hair in a mess and my Ugg boots on. You kind of sometimes forget that people do watch the show. But I really do love and enjoy and take pride when someone stops me or someone does, mention that they recognize me, or, a child asks for a photo or an autograph, it just reminds me that, I feel really lucky and honored to have been on Ninja Warrior and to have these social media platforms where people do recognize me sometimes. But I would not say that I am famous, that's for sure.
It looks like a lot of fun, but we're not sure if it would wear off quickly.
I mean, it's been 6 or 7 years now of getting stopped, especially at the supermarket. I'm not sure why, but people love to stop me at the supermarket. And it definitely doesn't wear off. It feels really nice when anyone of any age at any time stops me, just because I think I really do love talking to people and, listening to them and hopefully motivating them to step outside and do something out of their comfort zone as well.
Thanks so much for your time. We have loved you being our very first guest on our podcast show. If you get the chance, would you like to come back and visit us?
I would love to come back. I have very fond memories, but before we wrap it up, how about you, Jake, Charlotte, and Peyton? You tell me and, of course, the audiences that you've got one dream that you have.
Either driving a truck or driving a V8 supercar.
Ooh, I love. So you like cars and trucks, Jake?
Okay. I would like to be successful in all sports, like any sport. I really enjoy football and athletics. And I'm actually representing the school for state in a few weeks for athletics. So I'm very excited.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, and of course, good luck.
Thank you.
I think with any sports that you do, it's all coming down to, how much work and effort that you put in. Because I can tell you right now, Charlotte, it's not a straight linear line. You're definitely going to have some hard times and some tough days. You're going to have moments where you want to give up or you think that it's not possible. And those are the processes that you have to, persevere and overcome, and just remind yourself that it can take time, and we all fail. We all make mistakes, but that's how we learn. And just the secret to anything, I would say, is you just never give up. But good luck, Shah. What about you, Peyton?
I'm not really sure.
And that's totally fine. That's totally normal. I'm 34 years old now, and sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. So it's totally okay. Something one day will spark your interest and spark your passion. Just be open to new experiences and trying new things. But thank you so much for having me on your podcast. Loved it, and I would definitely enjoy coming back to the school and making more memories with you all.
And I'd love for you to come back to the school.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, me too.
One more question. This was the girls' question. Do you own a Frank Green?
A what, sorry?
A
A Frank Green drink bottle.
What is? Oh, Frank Green. I own a Frank Green coffee mug, actually. But the drink bottle looks cool. On socials, I see Stanleys everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys see that stuff?
Yeah.
Stanley has been around for a very, very long time. They're one of the most original insulated mugs and water bottles and stuff like that. And it's funny how social media can totally take a twist and make something really popular or make it in. It's the power of social media and all the eyes on something, which, I think is incredible. It gives us the opportunity to expose really amazing things, but it also means you have to be cautious and a little bit self-aware of what you're putting out there in the world and making sure that, it is honest and it's vulnerable and it's motivating and relatable. So I love the Frank Green question. That's great. Actually, I should have, brought my coffee in here with me, shouldn't I? We should have, clinked Frank Greens to the screen.
Do you have anything else you would like to say?
If there's anything else that you want to ask, shoot. I'm an open book, but at this point of time, I'm really honoured and thankful that I was your first guest. How did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Do you like interviewing people?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. You know, it's definitely something that you have obviously done your research. So thank you for all your hard work behind the podcast. I know that I really appreciate it as a guest, and I'm sure that your listeners will really enjoy that. That insight knowledge that maybe they learned something that they didn't learn or know before. So I had a really amazing time, and thank you for all the hard work that you put into it.
Thank
Thank you.
you.